trying to keep strict form, then 3 pull-ups that are working. Park again today. I was like halfway between going to the gym. Well, halfway is giving too much to it. More like 20. Because I don't know, I felt like I was capable of handling heavier weight today. But the day was too nice to pass up. In any case, similar to the previous 2 workouts, steel mace and kettlebell stuff today. Probably some calisthenics too. Yeah, mostly steel mace and kettlebell complexes. I'll try to do new complexes or come up with some stuff that hasn't been done, at least in the previous 2 videos. So yeah, to start off, well, you can't create brand new movements, but just brand new ways of, I guess, putting them together. In any case, for the kettlebell or for the steel mace complex, starting off with 3 steel mace 360s on one side, then switching to single arm, then holding the head. We're going to do 3 curls, then 3 presses, then 3 curl to presses. And switching sides and repeating. The goal with this more so is that since the weights aren't super heavy, I'm trying to like just prolong the duration of it. So after repeating the complex on each side, I'm going to do them for 3 total on each side. I made a mistake. I forgot to do the single arm before moving into the curls. So, as I was saying earlier, the goal with this is more so to prolong the duration, or so like to keep doing something for a long time, as opposed to the weight isn't heavy enough for me to hit failure. It's more like I'm doing something that requires muscular capacity, and since it or muscular strength, either, and by doing movements that involve the full body, I'm able to get my heart rate high and use my body in a flowy manner where I don't have to stay too rigid opposed to conventional gym movements, which in my helps give the mobility effects of mobility gains of doing like a steel mace kind of thing. And since you're using the full body in an endurance way, it keeps the heart rate high and has a cardiovascular element to it. And yeah, so you're able to do cardio with a resistance element without too heavy weights and then get a lot of mobility benefits. Then with the kettlebell, doing swing squat to curtsy lunge or figure eight curtsy lunge. Going for 3 each side. The act of swinging the weight around in both cases keeps the abs, core. When I don't know, when people say core, it's just a lot of muscles in the like trunk area, all generalized. So yeah, abs, core, whatever. When you swing the weight around, you feel it target all these different muscles in a very unique way. And yeah, with both of these complexes together, targeting the full body, a lot of movement. Yeah, I'm gonna do this for 5 sets. So this next bit of things is going to be a calisthenic complex followed by a kettlebell complex. For the calisthenic complex, doing a knee raise, a curled toe to bar, and a pull up. I'm gonna do that 3 times. With the kettlebell, so going to do a tactical clean, then do a snatch, and tactical clean to switch side, snatch, and gonna the sequence for 3 sets. So between the exercise, I'm hitting the whole body and keeping the whole body a decent amount of resistance to it. So in the case of pull-ups and stuff, like, resistance high enough to like where I wouldn't be able to do it for a and already gets like the up and abs, but then or move into this, at which point the standing stretches in these different positions recruit the abs even more, and then the offset load contributes to that too. I think I kind of crowded my thoughts there. Pretty much what I was trying to say was doing the calisthenic complex in the beginning already gets the core working quite a bit. And the fact that it's pull-ups, it's still a pretty, like, the body perceives it to be a heavy-ish weight, I would say, depending on how good you are with pull-ups. Then immediately after that, moving into this kettlebell complex where you're hitting the abs, the hip flexors, because it's like you're bringing your knee up, the quads and hamstrings with the squats, then the shoulders with the snatching and the cleaning and the pressing. So yeah, between these two exercises, nearly every muscle group in the body gets hit a little. And yeah, uh, I think it's good to do stuff like this. Of that, and on to something else. So the next thing is going to be another calisthenic complex, but this time with the steel mace complex to superset. So for the calisthenic part of things, going to do 3 windshield wipers each side. Trying to keep strict form. Then 3 pull-ups. Then with the steel mace. So going to start off with Mace 360, go into a side drop, single hand, curtsy, then switch sides. Requiring a lot of coordination to switch between muscle groups and sides of the body that are working. Going for 4 each side. Between both of these exercises, like I'm getting a huge pump in the back and shoulders, and like throughout all of these movements that I've been doing, the core is a component that gets used all the time. And so yeah, all of these exercises, while they hit the full body in a very unique way and get the body working as a system in a fluid manner than being so rigid. So yeah, gonna do this for, this was my second set. Gonna do at least 2 more. I'm about 85 minutes into the workout now. I don't know, I want to do some juggling for sure, but I don't know, probably something else before juggling. So for the last set of movements before I head into some juggling, I'm going to do some kettlebell hold steel mace 360s. I used to do these a lot more in the, I guess when I first started doing the steel mace, just because, I don't know, felt new at that time. And then I stopped doing it because it didn't feel so new anymore, and I felt like I was repeating it too often, or repeating that concept. So anyway, after taking somewhat of a hiatus from doing that movement, here we are again, but this time with the 15-pound steel mace. So before, when I used to do these, I would use the 7-pound steel mace, and this time I'm going to use the 15-pound. So it's going to be overall a little heavier and more taxing. So going to hold the kettlebell in between my legs, and then going to swing this up, and then do 10 360s. Then switching sides, maintaining balance and stuff while holding the steel mace. So like trying to keep the steel mace upright through the duration of the movement taxes the forearms and shoulders quite a bit, along with just what the 360 does. And then you have to compensate for holding the kettlebell in one hand, which causes its own kind of core recruitment. So after 10 each side of with the kettlebell, it's probably, the floor's kind of uneven here. In any case, starting off at one side, I'm going to clean squat press, sideways, squat. Ooh. Yeah, the floor is too uneven, but it is. Going for 4 each side of that. But yeah, going to superset these 2 moves for 4 sets or so. That was my third. Probably 1 more, maybe 2 more, and then into some juggling. So on to some juggling. Like yesterday, I'm just going to kind of chat as I juggle. I guess express thoughts and stuff. It's the weekend, so you know, there's that. Although I might still have to take care of some, or just tiny bits of some projects over the weekend. Just make a little bit of progress, so that I don't have too much to, like, so that the weekdays feel a little less burdened. Let's just do the first set of, or just do a sequence before I keep rambling. Ah. Alright, I'm gonna start off with something simple. I was trying to be too cool there. A lot of tap backs, but to be expected, dropping stuff. But yeah, it's going to be, or it is the weekend. You know, it's unfortunate that there isn't a UFC pay-per-view this weekend. I usually like spending Saturday nights watching fights, though there is some sort of night something, but I don't know if any of the fights are anything that I care too much about. Although, you know, even if it's uh, fighters that I'm not very well acquainted with, usually there's usually at least a couple of good fights in every event, whether it's a pay-per-view or not. So I might just have it playing in the background. Yeah, and then depending on the weather, either come here or go to the gym. I did say I wanted to go to the gym today, but if the weather is good tomorrow too, I might just come out, maybe bring more weights with me, and then like use a hill or something to make things more difficult. Let's go on to another sequence. Over there, I literally, like when I threw it up, I was making a decision between 3 moves in that split second, and that's why I dropped it. And I think a similar thing happened to me. It happens every time I do it, where usually like I haven't, like when I'm doing these, I don't have like a pre-decided sequence that I'm going with. So I'm just kind of like putting whatever move feels right on the fly. And it often happens where my mind gets like confused between a couple of moves to do. Not a bad sequence. but no sideways movements. So, okay, I guess a walk through my mental process when I'm doing this. So usually whenever I'm doing this, what happens is I do a sequence like the one I just did, and then I start thinking about all the moves that I didn't do. So now I'm like, oh, I didn't do any sideways or behind the back. And so then what ends up happening is the next sequence that I try to do, I put some behind the back or something along those lines in it. Yeah. I should also probably spend more time drilling individual moves. At least that's what most kettlebell jugglers do, I think. And to make their moves more refined, I just kind of do freestyle more often than not. I used to do drills a lot more when I first started, but then after that I just kind of became a freestyle junkie. Ah, not bad. I was kind of getting into a good flow over there. So yeah, so far I've eaten, so just a little bit of, I guess, oh, what does he eat every day kind of stuff. I get that. So today, this morning, so usually I have tea first thing in the morning with whole milk, but I ran out of whole milk, so I didn't have any. Uh, Instead, I kind of just waited and I ordered groceries. So I barely go to the grocery store myself. I have an Uber One membership, so I just get my groceries delivered. Yeah, I'm kind of spoiled maybe in that way, but like the amount of effort that it would take, like the extra time that it would take for me to go to the grocery store, get my groceries, and then come back. Uh, like instead of that, I can actually be working. So which is what I was doing. And with the YouTube stuff going on, I'm also spending most of my nights video editing. So the fact that I don't have to actually go out and grocery shop, it makes things super convenient. Um, and if it costs a few extra dollars for me to get that, then so be it. Although, I wonder how much I would really save and if it's actually worth it. Um, in any case, so I ordered groceries, some ground beef, some whole milk, cheese, what else? A couple of 0-calorie monsters, and I forget what else. Cashews. And so today I didn't eat till 1 or so, and I ate cashews and beef too. I guess as my first meal at around 1, with some cheese and barbecue sauce. And yeah, I'm here. There's some kids playing soccer. Okay. In any case, let's just go to the next sequence. You know, I feel like I could get a triple helicopter. A helicopter is where it's rotating like this. I feel like I could get a triple. You know what? I'll try it. Ah, whatever. I'll try that a different time. I'm just gonna go for sequences now. Ah! Fell in between my fingers. Oh, all right. Oh, let my hands dry out a little. Otherwise, there's no point in starting. Yeah. So then I had that. So after I go home, so usually what happens after I record the video, is then I have to do something called processing. So I record my videos in cinematic mode, and then I have to adjust what it focuses on, and then it has to process. Then I have to airdrop it to my computer, put it all together, kind of skim through the video, and cut out any unnecessary stuff if there is any. Sometimes I just even leave bloopers in there, or what I'd consider to be bloopers. And yeah, and then I just put it out. Then doing timestamps, etc., etc., etc. The whole thing probably takes around 2.5 hours to do. So, coming back to the previous point, if I can save some personal time by having someone deliver my groceries, I feel like it's worth it. Let me step closer. I'm just trying to be kind of weird with my sequencing. That's a sequence I've never tried before, but okay, you know what? I'm just going to stick to things I know and get a couple good ones in. Don't want to get this chat to be too boring and long. Not bad. Did some sideways all around movement to that one. After I head home, I'm probably gonna cook some more beef. I usually end up drinking a glass of milk at night. So usually, I'd say on average, my daily diet, like the main components are like around 1.5 pounds of beef, uh, 4 cups of whole milk, or 4 to 5. Then sometimes an apple, sometimes bananas, sometimes grapes. I also have some mangoes in the fridge that I haven't had in a while. But it's mostly stuff like that, like fruit and meat. For grains, I don't do any kind of uh, wheat or stuff like that. I do rice as my only grain more often than not. At least 95% of the time, it's only rice. And then my other carb that I go to is for potatoes. And so yeah, that's pretty much my diet. And I don't mind eating from out or eating out as long as whatever I order kind of fits that box. So like I can order from a restaurant called A&W, which has lettuce wraps for burgers. So like you can get any burger as a lettuce wrap. So that's something that I do. Then, but more often than not, I cook my own food. Yeah. All right, let's. Mosquitoes are coming out and they're biting me. I'm gonna end this video off soon. Oh, come on. Ah, what's going good there? All right, last sequence before I'm done with the video, but it has to end in a static, otherwise it doesn't count. Touch the ground, doesn't count. Yeah, that's good. All right, it's getting pretty dark and I need to head home. I might jog around a bit just to get some free flowing movement before I really pack up. But that'll be it for today's video. See you all tomorrow.